All right, guys, let's take a look at this very colorful and playful looking race-inspired chronograph watch. So my buddy Craig, who actually I just met in person yesterday down at his house, he was gracious enough to host me, and we talked watches and got to share in the hobby, face to face. So that was also very nice. Great to meet you, Craig. Thanks for loaning this guy in. This is the Straton Syncro, and this is the Seiko Mecha Quartz model. There are two different size variants of this guy. There's the 44, which this is the 44, and then there's a 40. And I gotta say, Craig and I talked about that, and he had some good points. The main good point was, because I know a lot of people think 44 is too large, they want to go with a 40, but although, the 40 is 40 and it's like 46, whereas this one's 44 and like 50 lug to lug, both of them are going to be on the same thicker side of things at, just over 15 millimeter. So now the question is, would you rather have that 15 millimeter height spread out over 44 by 50, or would you rather have it consolidated into a 40 by 46? That's a super, super good point. Thanks for bringing that up to me, Craig. I kind of agree with you on that. Having it spread out more, it's going to wear better on wrist. Now, yes, maybe if your wrist is not large enough to support a 44 millimeter watch, then yes, go for the 40, obviously. But I know a lot of people that have a 7, 7.25, 7.5, all that. You're going to be able to wear this watch no problem. And I'll show that in a minute. So let's just get into the watch. Like I already said, this is the 44, 50 millimeter lug width. I measure about 15 mil, and then you have a domed sapphire crystal there. So you're going to add about a half mil up there if you include that. And a 22 millimeter lug width. Straton's also known for having some crazy, colorful, well-built NATO style straps, and they all are going to work really good with their lineup of watches. I'll put a link to their website in the description. You can check it out. There's other variants. I'm not sure what's available right now. I didn't, browse the whole lineup of watches. I was more just trying to find information on this guy. So there's other colorways in this one as well, but we're just dealing with this one. So at first glance, I kind of get hues of like the Tag Monaco type thing with the way it's framed of the subdials there, but then, the watch case and everything is nothing like a Monaco. So, but definitely race inspired in its appearance, and I really dig that. It's kind of like almost how you would see in an older car, or even the newer ones really, how you would see like an instrument cluster with the, tachometer and speedometer, kind of framed in. It kind of definitely looks like that. And then with the, I'm not sure what it's called, but when you see either a chapter or a bezel done this way, maybe you guys can help me out. I didn't look that up, but the way this is offset almost kind of gives it almost like a checkered flag look to me, where it's, you have the void and then the lines and the void and the lines. Definitely looks more automotive race inspired for sure. So, and then it has an inner chapter there with a tachometer. This is a one direction, 120 click, very smooth operating bezel, and it lines up. A little bit of back plate, you can settle it in. This is the Seiko Mecha Quartz, like I said, so I'm going to go ahead and get that started so we can watch that as we're talking about the watch. You can see you have nice applied indices. They're absent where you have the date at 6, and of course the subdials protrude into the dial real estate where the indices would be, so they're absent there. That's totally fine. There's actually decent C3 loom on those. I'll do a loom shot at the very end of the video, and then there's also loom in the bezel insert, so very cool. Signed screw down crown. This is a 200 meter water resist watch. As long as you don't fiddle around with the pushers, that's gonna negate that. But these NATO straps are really nice too. I'm a big fan of them. Really nice looking case back here, very smooth. So if you do want to put it on either the included bracelet or a leather strap, or you could see putting this on like a really cool rally strap or something like that, it would wear really good. I like the color of the NATO straps, but that's just me personally, even though I'm not really into NATOs. So you can see it has the caliber information there, the Seiko Mecha Quartz VK64, stainless steel, 20 Atmos, Syncro, the model name, all that good stuff. I believe they made an automatic version of these as well, but I'm sure those are much more pricey. This guy, if you look on their website right now, is $4.99, but I know this was a Kickstarter launch when it originally came out, so I'm sure there was a pretty decent deal there. I don't know what that price was. Any of you guys that were actually paying attention when this was launched back in the day, I think 2015 or something, I can't remember how long it's been out, but very good looking use of color and racing inspiration, I believe. It's really a very attractive looking watch. And then even the case, like the finishing on it is really cool, but you notice something that traditionally you're going to have just a brush to polished transition, whereas this case actually has almost like a body line, you know, like you would see it in a car or something, where it's just pressed right into the case. So definitely gives it a stronger transition from the brush to the polish and back to the brush. So it's very, very defined. So let me pop this guy in wrist real quick so you can get a look at that. I think very boldly, brightly colored watches, or even just the NATOs themselves, when you go with a really cool looking, bold looking NATO straps, is what really, really draws me into wanting to wear NATO straps. I know I've been saying that for years, but you can see how this thing would easily lend itself to being swapped out to different color straps, whether it's this one here, and they have a whole line you can buy right from Straton. If you click their website, they actually sell like racing gloves, they sell straps, they sell a bunch of different stuff. So, and then certainly watches as well. But there it is on my 7 1/4. You know, it wears good, it feels good on wrist, and yes, it's going to have a little more bold presence to it because of its size. I'm totally fine with that. It wears nice. So it's a little tall. I don't know if it's going to fit underneath the cuff very good, but definitely, you know, more casual outfit or something like that, it's going to work just totally fine. Here's the mesh bracelet that it comes with. This would be a really nice addition to it if you were into the mesh straps. I like mesh straps. I'm not a huge fan of this clasp type system, but once you get it on wrist, it's totally fine. Maybe it's just me, but sometimes I feel a little claustrophobic with this type of latching mechanism, because you have to like hook it, latch that down, and put that down. I don't know. I'm just not very familiar with it, so sometimes I feel a little claustrophobic when I try to wear those. Looks like it also comes with this spring bar tool, which on this end is going to have a little, you know, pin type needle. It feels like it's pretty good quality for, you know, this is all fairly inexpensive stuff. So, and then it also has the spring bar tool there. So, you know, strap changes or whatever you want to do. It comes with this carrying pouch too. It's always nice to kind of have these for travel or storage. So you can put your straps in there, and then if you flip this little flap over here, then you can put the watch right there. So pretty simple, but still useful. You know, it's a little harder, so if you need to pack it away, or if you're traveling or something like that, you're not going to worry about it. So anyway, there it is, guys. Let me know what you think. Big thanks to Craig for sharing this guy with us, and of course I love the splash orange. Whether it's full orange or splash orange, it just kind of always draws me in. I'm a sucker for it. But all right, let's check out the Loom. This is C3 Luminova. So there you go. Definitely very cool looking. You have the indices, the hour, minute, and then of course you have the bold Loom at the triangle 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and then a little bit of glow, kind of like the printing underneath the, I don't know if it's a sapphire or acrylic bezel insert. I can't tell. But a little bit of glow to the whole thing. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next vid.